Hello YouTube, I'm Matt with Matty Ice Disc Golf, and I'm going to share with you all some tips to improve at the game really quickly, as well as very thoroughly to be able to be the best disc golfer that you want to be and can be. Now, I understand not everyone's goal is to become, absolutely amazing at the game. Some people just want to play it for fun, and then there's some people who want to get pretty good, but, not be super competitive. And then there's people like me who I hate losing, so I want to win, and that's what's fun for me. So before you even begin your trek of getting good at disc golf, you already kind of have a picture of your way you're going to tackle the game and go about things. And it's perfectly fine to be completely casual, buy all the fun new discs, always have new plastic, and just you don't need to throw well to have fun. You just need to be around some cool people and enjoy a beautiful day outside. Great. I'm talking to the people who want to improve really quickly and really well. And I feel like I am in a good spot to talk about this because I am one of the fastest improving people that a lot of people in my area have seen. I have gone over 500 feet in distance in around 8 months. I broke 500 feet within 8 months of starting the game. I'm currently 9 months in and am shooting around 930 average rounds now when you're talking about PDGA rating. Getting putting's always the weakness for beginners, so that's pretty much what I'm weak at now. But when you think about tee shots, gap hitting, up shots, all those types of things, I have improved really rapidly compared to other people around me, to where I am outperforming people who have been playing 10 plus years. So me with my nine-ish months experience, I'm gonna share with you all and kind of do a few things with the disc to share basic knowledge. So the way I attacked the game of disc golf is I first focused purely on backhand form and that alone. I'd go out to a field for hours at a time, just a field, not even to play around, and I'd bring every single disc I possibly could, like sometimes over 100 discs, and I would record a throw, and before I even threw again, I'd watch it, compare it to, like Simon Lizotte or Paul McBeth's form in slow-mo, and pick one thing to work on for like the next 10 to 30 throws. And once it started feeling more comfortable, I'd keep repping the next thing that I find, the next thing. And that was by far the best way to instantly get better and better pure backhand form. And now I didn't have good aim because I wasn't practicing aim at all. It was purely just helping distance, getting good backhand form that I know I will be able to aim, but really building myself up to where I have all the distance I really will need, and from there I could focus on aiming. And I did this for like almost 6 months, where I would just hit fields purely to just watch myself on camera. And now I would eventually break it down to more throws and then watch the video and see, all right, am I consistently getting this all right? But I was always going out with the camera, recording myself and reviewing, did I fix this? How is it looking? How far is the disc going? I'd go measure that. There's a certain point where you throw so much in the same field where you know where each disc is landing at distance marker wise. And yeah, that was the longest process that I have gone through so far, because getting near perfect backhand form, and I'm not perfect by any means, but once you're getting above 500 feet, you're getting pretty dang close. I would say once you have a throw break around 575 to 600, especially at my height, which is around that 5'10" level, you are throwing near perfect backhand on today's standards. So, within 8 months getting to that level, and I'm still doing some of that today. There is never, if you want to be really good at the game, you will never not be going into a field and recording yourself for at least part of your practice session. And I need to make that abundantly clear. No matter how good you are, you're never perfect, and you always need practice. So yeah, that was the main focus for the majority of my time so far. And that is what has paid the most dividends so far for making up my game. I play a lot on the same course over and over, and the first time I played there, I shot 26 over, and then within 2 months of playing, I was averaging around 10 to 15 over, and now I'm currently averaging around 3 to 4 down under par, with my personal best being 8 under par at that course now, which would be around 1,010 rated. So now we have throwing consistency built up, huge distance, so you can attack par 4 for eagle if you get a good shot and stuff like that. What do you do next? Well, what I have since then transitioned to is now I can split up my time just a little bit. And so now, instead of purely focusing on backhand form, now I'm trying to build a bit of a forehand. And so building forehand form is also a big thing. I believe in the next 5 years, we are not going to see near as many purely backhand dominant players. James Conrad is amazing at what he does, but even he is having to learn a forehand now to be able to keep up a lot with these new pros. So I've started learning a forehand and building that form. Now that form is a little less intuitive because the motion feels a bit more natural to me. So I've accompanied that with gap hitting practice too. So now, instead of only just working on backhand form for around 4 or maybe even 6 hours at a time, now I'm splitting it up where I can do about 3 hours of forehand work in a field, and then I go out to a local course that's not very busy, right? And at least once, maybe twice a week, I go to a tight tunnel hole, and I throw my entire bag through it and try to get each of my discs to hit at least the initial 100 feet. Now obviously I have a Justice and a Lucidex Felon in my bag, which are going to eventually get way too overstable for the hole, or my beat up F5, which is always a roller no matter how I throw it. And so those won't go the full distance of the whole 330 feet. But the key is hitting that initial gap, seeing that you got middle of the fairway for at least 100 feet with that disc. And then, your disc that you could actually use for the shot, actually getting down the fairway a bit. So now I'm starting to layer my skills. So I built the backhand up distance wise, and so now I got the distance I want for backhand. Now I'm going to start building the forehand, but I'm layering with the forehand gap hitting practice. And so now, once I get to the point where I've got all the forehand distance I want, which will be around 450 feet, then I'll work on gap hitting forehands and backhands together, as well as shot shaping in the field. So then, instead of distance work, I'm going to work on shot shaping and turnovers with my disc, really learning the disc more than learning my body. And then that's when you get extremely good and extremely consistent. I'm not totally there yet, but I have seen that this method of build your distance first, then your gap hitting, which gap hitting is just knowing how to line up your body to aim properly at your line, and then next is the shot shaping with the gap hitting together. If you layer that on your backhand like that, and then bring in your forehand after too, that's how you become a really, really well-rounded thrower and can become extremely, extremely good at the game. I believe that there is enough resources on YouTube to get really good at the game. I have not had a lot of tips from normal people. I've really just watched a ton of YouTube videos and spent a lot of time out in the field. And YouTube has a lot. The guys over there at Overthrow Disc Golf have a ton of great videos. And then Slingshot Disc Golf, they have he has so many great videos up there too. And just watching pros throw is a huge thing that can help you. And then I will say that one thing that I have incorporated now more than I have been in the past 6 months is practice putting. Putting is where the game is won or lost, and I know my putting has been neglected because of how much I've worked on the backhand, but it is officially now to the point where the backhand is, I've shaved off enough strokes to where I'm at that point of less return. So at first I was gaining a lot of return on each hour practiced, and now I'm getting that point where pretty dang consistent and I'm throwing well, so each time I do practice I'm not gaining as much strokes back out of the course as I would be putting. And so I'm also starting to work on practice putting. And so as I get my forehand fully developed distance-wise, gap hitting wise, then it'll transition to, I don't need to do 6 hours of field work because my body knows how to throw, I know how to gap hit. So now I can just go to the field for like an hour and a half to 2 hours, practice some lines, learn how my discs are, and then I can go putt for 2 hours. And then that's gonna be another just exponential boost that can, once you get that putting down circle one to like 85-90% without wind, that's when you step up to 1,000 rated. That's when you get that last push up in your rating. Right now I'm personally shooting an average of around 930 to 935 rounds, which is right at lower advanced, upper intermediate. And I know my few strokes that I am missing out on is putting. I do miss, around 10 circles at like outside 15 feet putts in a given round. And, I make 80% of those, and next thing you know, I'm shooting 1,000 plus rated rounds. And we're getting to that point where we're gonna be really good soon, and it's only been 9 months. So that's the way I've been able to progress really fast. Now obviously I've had a lot of time to get out in the fields. I've probably played an average of like 20 to 30 hours a week. Now obviously it's gone up and down with how the weather is. The past month and a half in Texas has been too windy to get meaningful field work, so it's been playing more just wooded golf. But yeah, no, it's been, I've had a lot of time, and obviously the younger you are, the more time you have to get into this and improve like I am. So I hope that this is able to hit younger audiences or people that do have the time that are interested in improving in disc golf really quickly. Because this is the best way to do it. Hit the fields, work on form first. Don't worry about gap hitting or anything. If you're shanking into trees and stuff, it's okay. Until your distance is there, there's no point in focusing on aim, because your form is going to keep developing and you're going to have to relearn how to aim. So you're essentially just wasting time going through that process over and over and over. So go with your learning curve, hit the fields, and then get your gap hitting, and then get to your shot shaping, and it'll all come together. And then a little secret tip for how I get some sneaky extra distance, especially on hyzer, is when you have to use a power grip. First of all, a power grip is really the best distance grip you can use. I grab the disc and I make sure that, like, I literally do this for a little bit before I walk up. Like, I just do this. I want to see the disc level with my hand, and I really pinch my thumb and my pointer finger really hard together to the point where I almost bend the disc a little bit. And that, I've seen, helps me get a lot more snap and torque on the disc at release, and gets me around an extra 50 to 75 feet on my spike hyzers, which I can throw spike hyzer around 400 feet right now. That's the last tip I got for you all. It's just a little sneaky tip. Grab the disc really hard. And yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this. I hope it helped you, and let me know how you're improving in the near future, and I'm gonna let you all know in video updates. So thank you, see you next time, bye.